Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It runs out real quick. Now close. Long time no see.
Good evening. Welcome to the meeting of the Skokie Village Board for Wednesday, September the 8th, 2021. Before we officially begin the meeting, I have a brief three-paragraph statement that I need to make. With Skokie and the entire state of Illinois now in Phase 5 of the Restore Illinois Plan and the lifting of restrictions on in-person gatherings, Skokie Village Board meetings are in person in council chambers at Skokie Village Hall, 5127 Oakton. Village Board meetings begin at 8 p.m. and will continue to be broadcast live on the Village's YouTube channel, as well as on Skokie Vision cable television channels, 17 Comcast and 25 RCN. Meetings are also rebroadcast on the cable channels in the weeks following each meeting, and the videos are archived on the Village's YouTube channel. As of August 30th, 2021, all individuals in Illinois shall be required to wear masks when indoors, including village buildings. Public comments may still be submitted to publiccomments@skokie.org. Comments received prior to the meeting or during the meeting will be provided to the village board, but will not be read aloud. Public comments also can be mailed or hand-delivered to Skokie Village Hall, 5127 Oakton, Skokie, 60077, to the attention of the village manager. Or it can be placed in the exterior drop-off box on the west side of Village Hall. Each village board meeting agenda includes time for public comments, and individuals wishing to speak on an issue will be allocated 3 minutes to address the board. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our village clerk, Pramod Shah, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The meeting will come to order, and the clerk will please call the roll.
Trustee Sutker,
Here.
Trustee Robinson,
Here.
Trustee Kuhn,
Here.
Trustee Johnson,
Here.
Trustee Pure Slovin is absent today, Trustee Klein,
Here.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Here. The next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda for this evening's meeting. A motion is in order. Trustee Sucker, seconded by Trustee Johnson. Is there anything on the consent agenda anybody would like to have removed? Taking me just a minute to get used to where I looked over and I didn't see Keith. I was like, where is Keith? Please call the roll.
Trustee Sutker,
Aye.
Trustee Robinson,
Aye.
Trustee Kuhn,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. Is Dr. Schwartz with us by any chance? He told me he was hoping to be able to make the meeting, but he had a meeting. With the consent agenda, he was appointed to the Board of Health. The next item is an award presentation, Block Party of the Year Awards presented by Maria Monastero Bueno, Chair of the Skokie Human Relations Commission. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome.
The Human Relations Commission reviewed applications for the 2020 Block Party of the Year Awards, a process which recognizes the efforts of community members to build relationships with their neighbors and promote quality of life for the whole community. Winners received a congratulations letter from our commission, congratulating them on the award, and they will have a sign installed on their blocks that denotes the recognition of this award. Sorry, I'm steaming up here. And they will be recognized by the Human Relations Commission at this meeting tonight. During the summer of 2020, 19 block parties were organized throughout our Skokie community. Upon reviewing the applications, we were impressed by the creativity and communication among neighbors in their efforts to enjoy safe and distant spaces during a time of constant change of rules and guidelines. The following 4 block parties were recognized for the 2020 Block Party of the Year Awards. We'll start with the 5300 Suffield Court Block from Long Avenue to Lockwood Avenue. Following the social distancing guidelines, this block showed off their Skokie spirit while lifting their own and their neighbors. They planned activities such as dancing, playing music, playing frisbee, and playing catch down the block, keeping it safe and having each neighbor plan their own meals last summer. Accepting the award are Gustavo and Karen Lastonow. Are they here? Please come up. The next award goes to the 7800 block of Trip from Mulford to Kirk. The theme of this block party was Tripvinia, which included a lawn ticket for each neighbor who celebrated Ravinia style and had picnics in their own front yards. They had music playing during the day for all to enjoy, along with distanced games on the street. They wrapped up the evening with an outdoor movie. Accepting the award is Sapna Desai. And actually, Matt will accept on her behalf. Is Matt here? Here's some photos. Oh, wonderful. These are the photos of the trip party. Okay. The next award is the 5200 block of Hoffman from Lockwood Avenue to Laramie. The best parties are the ones with ice cream, and this block party did not disappoint. Kona Ice Cream Truck stopped by for a scheduled visit after socially distanced individual family barbecues, ping pong tournaments, as well as cornhole tournaments. It was a great way to end the summer night with a cool treat. Accepting the award is Randy Payne. Our last award goes to the 9500 block of Drake Avenue from Gulf Road to Emerson Street. Hosted on a spooky Hallows Eve day, this block did not disappoint when it came to the costumes, decor, or candy. They hosted a villager-owned scarecrow scavenger hunt and pumpkin decorating contest, all while having masks required and at a social distance. To wrap up the evening, they had a Drake Avenue block trick-or-treating and distanced fire pits for some ghostly treats. Accepting the award is Liz Ribeiro. Okay, thank you all, and we look forward to hosting another awards in about a year. Thank you.
I must say, I just want to follow up on Maria's comments. It never ceases to amaze me, the kind of spirit that so many of our blocks are showing in the face of these kinds of COVID obstacles. I've attended a couple of the block parties this summer, and I'm a little paranoid about COVID. And I have to say, everybody could not have been more adhering to the protocols, and yet had such a wonderful time with each other. On behalf of my colleagues, I want to congratulate the winners of the Block Party Awards this year. You show tremendous spirit in face of enormous obstacles and difficulties. Thank you for everything that you do. I don't know how many block parties we have this year. I haven't been able to total it all up, but it's an amazing number. And keep up the good work. We will get through this some way. And with the help of our health department and our Board of Health, who we will be seeing in just a few minutes, keep it up. We're going to make it, but we're going to do it together as a community. So thank you. It isn't just your block. It's what you are doing for the entire village. So together, we're going to make it through, and thank you. And again, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our village clerk, who will conduct the swearing-in ceremony for a new deputy police chief. And while Village Clerk Shaw and Jesse Barnes come up to the podium, I would like to introduce our current police chief, Brian Baker. And I saw somewhere in the background former Chief Tony Scarpelli. There he is, Tony. Thank you. I think this may be the safest room in the United States today. So, Mr. Clerk.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
Jesse Barnes,
having been appointed to
having been appointed to
the office of Deputy Police Chief
the office of Deputy Police Chief
in the village of Skokie,
in the village of Skokie,
in the county of Cook,
in the county of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Deputy Police Chief
the duties of Deputy Police Chief
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Jesse, would you introduce your family and friends who are with you?
Absolutely. My son Jesse, my wife Jessica, my mother-in-law Debbie, father-in-law Maury, my uncle Casey, my mother Sue, and stepfather Jim.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Deputy Chief.
Appreciate it.
We're very proud of you, as we are of the entire police force, which you and Brian and lead. We're grateful for all of the hard work that you do on behalf of keeping our residents safe. It's not an easy job in these times, but your performance and that of our chief and all of the members of our force bring credit to the profession of law enforcement. And I think you can be held up as a model for the way it's supposed to be done. So on behalf of the residents of the village, I want to thank you and the men and women who work with you every day. We're grateful for everything that you do for us. And this coming Saturday, approximately 8:15, 8:30. We will be holding a 9/11 observance. It'll be down at the main fire station, number 16, right near the police department. And it's a day that brings back a terrible memory. But at the same time, it does remind us of the hard, difficult, dangerous work that you and our fire do for us. So, Jesse, thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you back here in many occasions.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
And why don't we take a 5-minute break so we can congratulate the block winners and congratulate Jesse. So we'll take a 5-minute break.
Yes.
I was thinking about it.
I was frustrated because
And so when they laid it out, we had to look at it. So it didn't.
it was like yesterday.
there,
Oh.
and I still bank there. Oh, there he is.
Man, James is in the back of the room. Do you want to call out or you want me to get him?
Where?
He's right there talking to Tony. On the right by the door.
Oh, okay.
Here he comes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, the meeting will resume with the report of our village manager, John Lockerbie.
Thank you, Mayor Van Duzen, and good evening, everyone. Item A is regarding a Cook County Class 6B real estate tax incentive for 8056 North Central Park Avenue. The Economic Development staff is recommending a Class 6B property tax incentive for this property located at 8056 North Central Park Avenue. This property has been vacant and underutilized since April of 2018. The owners of the Lebanese restaurant and Lebanese Suites have run their family-owned business for over 80 years, recently purchased the property in Skokie's East Industrial Area. The Conosier family of 8056 CP LLC seeks to produce larger scales of their well-known brand of sweets, pitas, and Lebanese desserts for their Lincolnwood site, online customer base, and the emerging national network. This evening, Eddie and Nasser are with us. The new owners believe the property can be made suitable for production and warehouse use by undertaking interior retrofitting and exterior improvements, as well as site upgrades. The initial work will include a new roof, new HVAC system, electrical and plumbing upgrades, purchase and installation of new production equipment, exterior tuck pointing, flooring, ceiling, drywall, landscaping, etc., as well as design assistance. Occupancy is planned for first quarter of 2022. Total property taxes paid at the time of vacancy in 2018 were approximately $14,993. Following the purchase, occupancy, and the almost $800,000 investment into the building, it is estimated that the annual taxes will increase to approximately $25,500, with the Class 6B in effect. Following the 12-year term of the Class 6B designation, it is anticipated that annual taxes for this facility will exceed $73,796, with a projected 2033 assessed value of $214,000 in today's dollars. I concur with staff's recommendation. Leslie Murphy has been working directly with them and their assessment, and that this project is an excellent candidate for a Class 6B classification. I respectfully request Mayor and Board approval of a resolution authorizing this designation.
A motion is in order. Trustee Sutker, seconded by Trustee Johnson. Are there any comments or questions? I must say that the restaurant, as John noted in the report, which is in Lincolnwood, is also the site of mediation. This is where former Mayor Jerry Turi of Lincolnwood and I used to have lunch regularly. The two of us can testify to the sweets and the pita and everything else at the restaurant. We both recommend it. With that, if the clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Sutker,
Aye.
Trustee Robinson,
Aye.
Trustee Kuhn,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. Congratulations and welcome.
The next item is a recommendation by our Board of Health, and it's my pleasure to introduce Mike Charlie, the Director of Health, and Dr. Warner, the Chairperson of our Board of Health.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Mike Charlie, and I'm the Director of Health and Human Services for the Village's Health and Human Services Department. With me tonight, I have the Chair of the Board of Health, Dr. Bill Werner, and I'm going to begin the presentation on this agenda item, and then I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Werner to finish this up. So we are here tonight to present the Board of Health's recommendation to amend the Village's cigarette and tobacco sales ordinance to prohibit the sale of flavored e-cigarette vaping products. Like I said, I'm going to provide a short introduction and a summary of the Board of Health's recommendation, and Dr. Werner will provide more detail on the public health reasons why the Board of Health has made this recommendation. I'd like to start off with, back in 2012, the Skokie Community 2012 Health Plan identified tobacco use and prevention as a priority, with a strong focus on preventing youth from becoming hooked on tobacco. In 2019, in October, the village board actually voted unanimously at that time to support a village resolution that supported a statewide ban on flavored e-cigarette liquids. And just to note, the state still hasn't done it, but there is a Senate bill out there that it may happen at some point. The Board of Health has completed extensive research on e-cigarettes and vaping products and had several meaningful and thoughtful discussions at their Board of Health meetings. The result of that research and discussion is that the Board of Health has submitted their recommendation that the village ordinance be amended to prohibit the sale of flavored e-cigarette products in Skokie. I did want to note that there is a nationwide movement on this. We're not alone. We're one of many pursuing this. We're not only one of many municipalities and or governmental entities pursuing it, but a number of governmental entities have actually passed or banned the sale of flavored e-cigarette products already. In 2019, the village of River Forest did it. In 2019, the village of Oak Park did it, where they banned the sale of flavored e-cigarette products. In September 2020, the city of Chicago did it. In Illinois, in 2019, they introduced House Bill 3887, and that bill has died. However, they reintroduced Senate Bill 2282 in February to ban the sale of flavored e-cigarette products. So there is a movement, and I will say I think the focus of the Board of Health is, like I had said, we want to prevent Skokie's youth from starting this horrible habit. I personally have two 14-year-olds at home and a 12-year-old, or two 15-year-olds, sorry, and a 12-year-old at home, twin boys. And I know just from, yeah, hopefully they're not watching tonight. But it's near and dear to my heart. You know, I hear the stories my sons come home with, junior high kids getting busted with e-cigarette products, kids they see smoking its e-cigarette products. I certainly don't want my kids exposed to this. So, like I said, this is our goal. The Board of Health's goal is to ban it, and we think it'll make a significant difference, not only here, but just to show the rest of the world that we think this is a serious issue. At this point, I'd like to pass things over to Dr. Bill Werner, Chair of the Board of Health, and he's going to provide a little bit of a greater detail on the public health reasons as to why the Board of Health has recommended that the board make this decision.
I don't want to preempt Dr. Werner, but I do have a little bit of news. Tomorrow, the Food and Drug Administration is beginning its debate on severely regulating, possibly banning all forms of vaping. And this could be a great consequence. So, Dr. Werner, your timing is exquisite, as always, so please.
Thank you, Mayor. And we've debated this for over a year now in terms of how to focus our recommendations, and I'd like to present that tonight. So thanks to Director Charlie for bringing this forward and helping us do the research. So why has the Skokie Board of Health recommended that the village prohibit or ban the sale of flavored e-cigarette or vaping products? These products are contributing to a significant public health concern, tobacco use by our youngsters and teenagers. Based on a 2020 Illinois Youth Survey, e-cigarette use and vaping use among suburban Cook County communities ranged from 14% for high school seniors to 11% of 10th graders, and believe it or not, 5% of 8th graders. Research has shown that kids are enticed to try flavored tobacco products through industry-sponsored advertising aimed at them. Peer pressure contributes to the urge to try flavored vaping products that are available in a variety of tastes that appeal to young people. These include fruit, candy, mint, and menthol flavors, desserts, and other sweets. I personally don't really find that very attractive, but apparently the kids do. Flavored vaping products may act as a gateway to other forms of tobacco use and can lead to a lifetime of nicotine addiction. Nicotine is a drug that can damage developing brains in our kids. E-cigarette vapor may contain a potpourri of harmful chemicals and substances. It is not harmless water vapor. Potentially, these substances may damage the respiratory system, the lining of the airways, and the lung tissue itself. Potentially, these substances can also contribute to our ongoing COVID pandemic, where there's now a rise in the number of pediatric patients with serious illnesses, and this could predispose them to further damage from COVID. The ingestion of liquids contained in e-cigarette refill cartridges also contain nicotine that can cause acute toxicity and even death. Director Charlie mentioned that local municipalities have banned e-cigarette and vaping products. I would like to add that numerous professional health and medical organizations have supported such action, including the American Public Health Association, the Chicago Medical Society, the Illinois State Medical Society, the AMA, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the American Lung Association. The Respiratory Health Association has also written a letter of support of the Board of Health recommendation. I do have to disclose I'm a member of a number of these organizations as well, so they're clear up any conflict. So the Board of Health is recommending that the village's cigarette and tobacco sales ordinance be amended to prohibit the sale of flavored e-cigarette and vaping products. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Let me get a motion first. A motion, Trustee Klein, seconded by Trustee Johnson. Questions of Dr. Warner?
Dr. Warner, thank you for being with us, and thank you for this recommendation. I'm a high school teacher, and I've seen this kind of firsthand, the influence of this on students, and this is, I'm not questioning you about the merit of this recommendation. I 100% agree. I wanted to ask you, I'm hoping you maybe saw this. Our board got a letter from the Respiratory Health Association of Chicago, specifically kind of in support of this motion, but also to address the issue of menthol cigarettes. And they outlined some of the equity issues involved and the similar issues involving youth kind of gateway products. They have asked us to consider including menthol cigarettes in this flavored tobacco ordinance, and as our chair and as a physician yourself, I just wanted to ask for your personal opinion on this, of whether, in your opinion, we should consider including this in our ordinance.
Yeah, I think at this point, we want to focus on the vaping products. And that is the leading edge of this epidemic, if you want to say, among our kids. You know, banning all tobacco products, that would be wonderful. But I think we need to do this incrementally. Menthol cigarettes, I understand some people use as sort of a bridge to get off tobacco, other leaf products, and it may be the preferred type of cigarette for certain minority groups where this could become an equity issue. So the Board of Health right now is just focusing on the vaping e-cigarette issue.
Awesome, thank you.
And I would like to reiterate that apparently, from the reports that I've heard today and I read about, the Food and Drug Administration is thinking about including menthol. And my concern is if we did do menthol, our kids are mobile. They're going to go next door somewhere and get that product. I'm hopeful that SB 2282 will be passed into law. I'm also hopeful that the Food and Drug Administration will include it in its new regulations. It's going to be a sweeping regulation because they're taking in cigarette products. I won't get into the science because I don't understand it, but apparently they are thinking of changing the content of cigarettes. They have less addictive tobacco than the current ones. So I think, at least for now, I don't think we should include menthol. However, I do think we should make a commitment to our residents that if the FDA or the Illinois General Assembly does not act, then it will come back to our agenda. And I think that's got to be our commitment. But I think the General Assembly or the FDA can just simply level the playing field, and our kids won't be able to go next door to get the product. So I'm sorry, Trustee Sucker.
I was just gonna add that it would be more effective if the whole state of Illinois would do it so that our kids can't go next door to get the product. But I think it's important to say that we've had kids die from vaping.
Yeah.
This is a very serious thing. I'm a social worker and I see these kids who use and they don't understand the extent of what it can do to them health-wise, and also, in addition, their mental health issues, along with the reason that they're getting involved in these products to begin with. So there's a lot of spokes to the wheel to help this process. So
Yeah,
thank you for being with this first step, because perhaps if more municipalities do it, this House bill will pass.
Right. Yeah, that I'm sure the Board of Health would support going with the menthol as well. I throw a little bit of pessimism into this with the, let's say, the speed with which the FDA is addressing
Yes.
the issues around the COVID booster. Hopefully they'll act quickly on it, but they have a lot on their plate. And again, our friends in Springfield sometimes can drag things out as well. So I think we make a statement by going ahead with this type of prohibition on the e-cigarette and vaping material.
And please convey to the Board of Health two things. One, our gratitude. Again, you were the state's leaders on Tobacco 21. I mean, it originated with our Board of Health, and you and your predecessor, Dr. Drackler, along with Dr. Kennard, did a masterful job of working with all of the organizations. And while I'm on it, I want to thank the Respiratory Association for all of the work that they have done with us over the years. In '87, we passed the first Clean Air Indoor Act in the state of Illinois. And then, I think it was 2003, we also passed an updated Clean Air Indoor Act. And we were the first to do and I believe it's because of the work of the Board of Health and all of my colleagues that the state of Illinois did eventually pass a statewide Clean Air Indoor Act. So please give the board our thanks. And secondly, reassure them that we do have a commitment that if SB 2282 is not passed, or if the FDA, as you suggest, has an overflowing plate and doesn't act on it, we will have it on our agenda. So,
Well, thank you. We meet tomorrow night, so I will advise the board of those two important issues.
thank you. Trustee Robinson.
Yeah, I just wanted to add and give my thanks to the board too for really looking into this matter. And I know it doesn't just impact the health of students. As a school official, I would say probably for the last 6 or so years, we've noticed the most frequent probably behavior in high schools, kids vaping.
Yeah.
Kids get caught, kids get in trouble, academic exclusion, et cetera, et cetera. And it really does impact disproportionately, black and brown students. So this really does have a greater impact on just the health component.
Yeah.
But I'm really grateful of the work of the committee. Thank you.
Well, again, thank you for the opportunity to discuss this with you.
Thank you, Doctor. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Sutker,
Aye.
Trustee Robinson,
Aye.
Trustee Kuhn,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Proudly, aye. The motion passes.
Item C is regarding the sale of village-owned real estate located at 8114 through 8116 Lincoln Avenue. The Village of Skokie is the owner of the subject property, a vacant parcel purchased by the village in 2009 as part of a larger property that originally went from Lincoln Avenue to Floral Avenue. The parcel that is now available for disposition encompasses 9,795 square feet and is located between the Swift Child Care Facility and Al's Cycle Shop. The proposal from developer Nehemiah has been approved by both the village's Appearance Commission and the Plan Commission, and the project site plan was approved by the village board on November 18th, 2019. The development to be constructed is a 4-story mixed-use development with approximately 2,268 square feet of ground floor commercial space, 18 upper-story residential units, and 19 parking spaces. Per village code, the project will be 4 spaces deficient, 4 parking spaces deficient, and Nehemiah will contribute $60,000 towards the downtown parking fund as a permitted option. Nehemiah plans to occupy the ground floor commercial space for their showroom of building products for their construction clients, which will generate sales tax. Staff recommends proceeding with a sale contract of the site to Nehemiah at $292,000. I concur with staff's recommendation and respectfully request mayor and board approval of an ordinance authorizing the sale of 8114 to 8116 Lincoln Avenue.
A motion is in order. Trustee Klein, seconded by Trustee Sucker. Gail, I understand you wanted to make a comment.
Thank you, Mayor Van Dusen. I'm Gail Schechter. I live at 9033B Keating Avenue, and I'm simply here to comment that I'm disappointed that yet another multifamily building is going up in Skokie on city-owned land that is going to be all housing for the luxury market. And it's not to say that Skokie has not done anything in terms of low-income housing. I think Skokie has a strong track record, and I've been in communication with Mr. Lockerbie about that around housing preservation and providing low-income housing opportunities, but they are in a segregated manner. We've got segregated in all senses, in the sense of we have luxury housing and we have low-income housing, but we haven't found a way to create mixed-income housing. And other communities around us, from Evanston to Highland Park, in fact, tonight Deerfield is considering an inclusionary zoning ordinance. I would strongly recommend that Skokie consider that. I mean, if we're going to ask for a give back to the city of $60,000 per parking space that is not accommodated for, why not ask for some units that are affordable to people at lower incomes, especially since this is a location not far from the Science and Technology Park, where there are doubtless employees at different income levels who I'm sure would love to live in a fully accessible building close to work. So so thank you. I hope, if not this development, consider an inclusionary zoning ordinance for the village. Thank you.
Sure. Gail and I are not going to debate the issue. We've had conversations, and I respect Gail. Deerfield is taking it up because they only have 5% low and moderate income housing. They feel this is the only way they can get low and moderate income, because developers will not build low and moderate income housing in Deerfield. Highland Park is still under 10% low and moderate income housing. Evanston actually has inclusionary housing and went from 19.5% to 17%. We are at 19.5%, and if you look at the downtown area, we've got the luxury housing to which you and everybody can see. You go down Floral, and we've got the new townhouses. We've got a moderate income rental just north of the townhouses. Right in the middle of that, we're going to have 16 units of low and moderate income housing coming, sponsored by the Illinois Housing Development Authority. And we have a Sela home right downtown there. So the market is working as we have encouraged it to work, because the village does support lower and moderate income housing. We had for decades. Our philosophy has always been that if you live in the village and you work in the village, you should be able to afford to live here. And I think we've done a pretty good job. To me, our biggest challenge right now isn't the number of units, because we're keeping up. Our challenge is to figure out a way to encourage owners of low and moderate income housing that's outdated and needs to be rehabbed. That, I think, is our challenge, and we've got a couple ideas that we've been kicking around, and hopefully we will have something to present to the village board at some point. But I get your message. I thank you for your comments.
Thank you, thank you. And I have some related comments, but I'll reserve them for after this, unless you want me to just share them.
No, you could.
Okay.
You've got the microphone.
Well, they're related. Another suggestion, I'm glad to hear that you're looking at how to help or encourage landlords that are already renting to low, not moderate income people to be able to upgrade those homes. I would say on a bigger scale, just wondering, when will Skokie create a new comprehensive plan? Because looking on the website, it's from 2007, which I realize is even before President Obama took office, before Mr. Lockerbie was here, before the Oakton Swift station was open, before, the major economic downturn. So many things have changed, before we've prioritized, dealing with climate change. So there are so many things that could be addressed. And then thinking about a through line, I happen to be the executive director of a nonprofit, and we're about to work on a new comprehensive plan, and our consultants, who are the Michigan Public Health Institute, use that phrase through line. So we're looking at a through line of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm thinking, something for Skokie would be something like that came out of the community forums, that people said they want Skokie to be a destination, not a way station. So imagine a through line of, we want Skokie to be a destination for people of all ages, ethnicities, and incomes in all parts of the village. Then everything can sort of flow from that. But I think that a new comprehensive plan would go a long way. And then my other comment was simply about Human Relations Commissions. I recently did a little study, wrote about it in Patch, and Skokie, it's wonderful that we look at, block parties and things to bring people together, but Skokie's commission used to have a strong fair housing enforcement role, conflict resolution. Just a suggestion that you might take a look at the commission.
Sure.
So those are my comments. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Are there any comments or questions?
Could we ask some questions from our community development staff?
Of course.
Oh, I just wanted to kind of follow up to Ms. Schechter's comments. Wanted to ask about affordability with this project and, yeah, kind of the expected rental prices for these units and, yeah.
Okay, I'll try it with the mask. Thank you, Trustee Johnson. So the developer, Zach Joseph of Nehemiah, is here. So out of the 18 units, these are going to be very reasonably priced, given the marketplace for new rental residences. The average, there will be 3 one-bedrooms. They're just shy of 1,100 square feet. And the rental rates are projected to be on average of $1,500 a month. 2-bedroom, 2-bath units at $1,800 a month. And there will be 3 3-bedroom units at $2,400 a month. On a per square foot basis, that's very reasonable, and those prices do include parking.
I'm curious, just again, in response to Ms. Schechter's comments, I know the idea of an inclusionary housing zoning, an inclusionary zoning ordinance has been kind of kicked around for years, and I'm curious to hear staff's perspective on this, and kind of your thinking into whether or not this would be a good fit for Skokie.
Well, like I've said before, I think our greatest strength is our existing housing stock. It's very hard to build new, affordable, and with this project and other projects, there's just too big of a gap, I think, with the tools that we have.
Thank you. Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Sutker,
Aye.
Trustee Robinson,
Aye.
Trustee Kuhn,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
I know this is a little poor form of me, but I'm actually going to abstain from this vote. I feel a lot of sympathy with the concerns about an inclusionary housing ordinance. I had a long conversation with our village manager this morning. Affordable housing is incredibly complicated. I'm very reluctant to both kind of give a hard no to this. I really appreciate the time and energy that staff has put into this, and I also appreciate that these units, although they'll be exclusively above market rate, will be more affordable than many of the other developments kind of currently underway, like 8,000 North and the Boulevard. On the other hand, I feel a lot of trepidation with really giving my full support to really any residential developments that don't include affordable units. I think the need for affordable housing, although the issue is very complicated, I think the need is maybe greater than ever. So I'm going to abstain from this vote. I'm really grateful for your work. I'm really grateful for Nehemiah for really expanding in Skokie and really wanting to have Skokie as a home. So with that, I will abstain from this vote.
Trustee Klein,
Yeah, I vote for it.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you.
Item D and E was approved as as part of tonight's consent agenda, and that completes my report.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is report of our Corporation Counsel, Michael Lorge.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Item A on my report was on the consent agenda at the beginning of this evening's meeting and was adopted at that time. Therefore, that would conclude my report for tonight.
Thank you. The concluding item is public comment. Is there anybody who wishes to address the village board? I do want to take a moment out to congratulate two people. Trustee Sucker, who this last week received the Ken Jacobson Professional Award from JCFS. That's the highest award that JCFS gives to anybody, and it's meritorious. She is a great social worker, and I might add, great personal sacrifice. And so congratulations. And thank you for inviting me to view it. And I also want to congratulate Chief Baker. Chief Baker recently was recognized by the Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System for his outstanding contributions to the regional agency and to the Northern Illinois Police Alarm System. In their letter commending Chief Baker, they say that he has had a career punctuated with duty, honor, and exemplary distinction, and sincere dedication to his craft, further recognizing that he has provided leadership and assistance without expectation of acknowledgement or reward. Chief, congratulations and thank you. And with that, Trustee Sucker,
I move we adjourn.
we are adjourned.